There's just no good games to play anymore. Stop! Cease your operations at once! And jump off a cliff! Video games are the best that they have ever been. Say otherwise and I'm hitting you with the curse of... hold on, let me see. That's some cringy Gen Z word. Let's say you carry on a normal life when everybody calls you the chanting bandit. I mean, you can already see where this conversation is going though. Indie games, creativity, the emo war in Australia. Last time you saw me talk about indie games in that group, it was to snitch on the ones that need Gotham Asylum expeditiously. Now, I want to talk about some indie games that aren't really talked about all too often. Games that, to be entirely frank with you, I sincerely doubt that you have played at all. If I see any comments saying that the games that I am talking about aren't unknown and that I'm just clickbaiting, then first off, yes, you're quite correct. But second, I'm just gonna Now, I'm not someone that plays baseball, so my knowledge on the sport is pretty pitiful, but god damn, these guys' knowledge is probably worse. Give me one more funky beat. Ain't nothing like a funky beat. Lethal League Blades is a baseball fighting game hybrid in which you and other players try to take each other out by hitting a ball really hard. Then you may be taking a look at me, and then you may be taking a look at the footage, and then you may be thinking that I am exaggerating just how fast and how hard the balls come at you. But trust me when I say that you will notice that they're touching you until it's way too late. I'm not sorry for writing that sentence the way that I did. Now, to give you a proper idea of what a match ends up looking as, I decided to show you some footage from the beginning of the game. Yeah, you know, quite nice, quite simple. And now, a little footage from about 30 seconds into the future, bundled with a nice PowerPoint looking ass transition. The game itself is pretty simple, as unlike many of the fighting games out today, there's not really a lot to work with. Jump, you hit, you bunt, you throw, and the most complicated thing to pull off in the game is an ultimate. You press the attack button twice. Don't let that fool you into thinking that the game is basic or boring though, as there's still a lot of tech that you have to understand, and even if you do, I sincerely doubt that you'll be able to understand whatever the fuck is happening here. The game is one that I found mainly revolves around quick thinking and reactions, making split-second decisions, which sure is something that you do in other fighting games, but most fighting games don't have you playing dimension-shattering baseball. The game revolves around the player fighting for control of the ball, as the one who hits the ball is the one that can do damage to everybody else, and as the game goes on, the ball gets faster and faster, so you want to make sure that you're the guy hitting the balls, and not the guy with the balls in his face. Quite simple to understand, no? Easy to learn, hard to master. I tell us all the time, but one that always works as it makes the game really accessible and fun to pick up, even if you have never played it before. With a couple people together, the game is an incredibly chaotic and fun experience. The only problem is actually getting anyone to play with you. Nothing screams scaring the hoes or scaring the bros like telling them to play Lethal League Blades. Lethal League Blades excels in pretty much every aspect that you could desire, with a fun gameplay loop, an incredible visual style, and an even greater musical style with songs that are as funky as they come. The game is arguably one of the best indie fighting games out there. The problem is that it is currently dead as hell. And now, it's time for an intervention. Hi, I'm the magical being editing this video known as Editing Pseudo, but for now, just call me Pseudo. And while I was writing this video, I decided to test something out and see if I could get some more online matches, only for the gods to laugh at me and give me 3 matches in the span of 10 minutes while I wasn't recording, which made me realize why people on social medias always have their cameras on, even while jacking a mean one off. The game is available on every console right now, and you should get it, it's pretty good. How many games allow you to play as a person in a straitjacket? That's right, we one of a kind in here. After this game, Team Reptile, the developers of the game, will go on to make Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, which, as many of you may know, was my game of the year last year. Watch my video, watch my video, watch my video. So I guess that what I'm trying to say here is that I'm really excited to see what other projects the team has in store. When Neon White first came out, I heard nothing but the utmost praise for it, with people calling it some of the best that indies have to offer. But I never really gave it the chance that it deserved until now, and after playing it I have to say, god damn it, I should have played it sooner. Neon White is an FPS platforming speedrunning visual novel. I'm not even naming the genres of the game anymore. I'm fucking casting a spell. The core of the game is all about making use of the many soul cards the game gives you to run through the many stages of the game. In the stages, you have to platform and defeat all the enemies to beat the stage, and you'll be using the soul cards to do so. The soul cards are both your weapons and movement options for the game. You will use all types of guns, each one being a different soul card, but every soul card can also be discarded in exchange for a different movement option, such as a double jump, dash, or a stomp. You'll be shooting, jumping, and dashing all around these stages, and while it may seem simple at first, believe me when I say it is really fucking good. Neo White has stages that are incredibly well designed, offering unique challenges that make use of both your platforming knowledge as well as the many soul cards of the game. Playing the game feels sort of similar to the philosophy of a classic Sonic game, with playing the game well being rewarded with faster times for the stages. This is further helped by the fact that a lot of the stages are really short. Most of them barely clock at a minute, and when playing well, the time spent on them can shorten drastically. During a casual run, the stages are still incredibly designed and challenge the player in unique and fun ways, but only when a player starts to replay the stages does the brilliant design truly make its appearance. Every stage is meticulously designed with shortcuts and optimization in mind, having a standard path and a bunch of shortcuts for speedrunning, making these levels incredibly replayable. Once you start understanding the stage, chances are that you're gonna be stuck in the zone as you keep replaying the stages over and over to better your times. I'm not someone who immediately replays levels or shit like that. Normally I like to brute force through the main story of a game, I know, like all, but Neon White was very different. A lot of the recordings I did were just me replaying the stages and lapping different paths and strategies to get better times, because it felt really good to improve in these stages. The developers made a game that feels good to improve at. Even if you're an ass player like me who refuses to play shooters with keyboards because they're gross, you can still feel the satisfaction of improvement, and that makes the game incredibly fun. I don't think there was a single moment in any of my gameplay sessions that was not fun. Throughout literally every single second, there was no point in which I was not smiling like a dumbass from ear to ear. From a gameplay experience alone, this game may be one of the best games that I have ever played. I didn't get the true ending for the review since 1, I don't like 100% in games, and 2, I don't want to 100% a game on Game Pass, but I enjoyed the experience so thoroughly that the same day I made a new save file just to play the game again. This game isn't a game, it's an addiction. And a good one at that. Neon White is an incredible game, and it's possibly one of the best indie games I have ever played. But most importantly, the music is pretty good. Sur Regalia is honestly incredible, and I believe that what it does sets a really high standard for both 3D platformers and Metroidvanias, as it combines both genres to create an experience that is only 3 hours, and yet you wish that it were triple the length. The game has you explore a unique dreamland that, more than capturing the feeling of the N64 era of Nintendo games, captures the mystery and low-key vibes that you can get from playing these games. Now maybe this problem is just an issue of Latino kids living in underdeveloped habitats, but when I was Super Marioing and Mario 64 for my DS, it felt like I was Super Marioing into Nightmare on Elm Street. So much of the game felt so weird, mysterious, off-putting even. You know, nothing is there since the rating is E for everyone and there won't be any mysterious demon god waiting to grab you by the ass hairs to beat your ass. But the game exudes a mysterious atmosphere regardless of whether it makes sense or not. So maybe there will be a demon god waiting to grab you by the ass hairs and beat your ass. This atmosphere is something that Sur Regalia heavily capitalizes on, and bases a lot of its world around that subliminal space-like feeling that earlier 3D platformers emanated to create a world that truly feels like a dream. The biggest surprise about the game has got to be the immaculate gameplay though, as it features movement so good for a 3D platformer that the only other contemporaries that are close or better in quality are just fucking Mario games. While the game starts out with an incredibly limited and basic moveset, it doesn't take long for the game to hand the player the upgrades that it needs to expand your abilities and allow you to pull stunts that make you feel absolutely majestic. I've been looking at some of the stunts that you can do in the game, and it damn near makes me want to do them in real life. The game has a flow that is incredibly satisfying to pull off. So many of the moves connect to one another, so you can pretty much do any combination of abilities and it will result in you getting where you need to be. Unlike most Metroidvanias, I don't really even know if you have a specific order in which you're meant to get the abilities due to how easy it is to get them in different orders. You have so many movement options at your disposal that even if you're meant to do something later, with enough knowledge and understanding of your skills, you can pretty much get anywhere however you want. For example, with good maneuvering, you can reach the final area of the game way before you're meant to and get one of the most useful skills in the game. The moveset was crafted with such care that getting one move opens up hundreds of possibilities if you're skilled enough to pull them off. Even with me having finished the game like 3 to 4 times, I still feel like there is room for me getting some upgrades slightly earlier or differently than I would have done before. And that is when I truly realized just how well designed the game truly was. There are dozens of instances where I just feel like playing the game for no other reason other than just wanting to mess around and seeing what I can do, because the game is simply that fun to mess around with. Chances are that a lot of the little things about the design of the game, the sequence breaking, and the different orders that you can get the skills, probably all of that is in some way intended by the developer, but their ability to make the player feel like they're outsmarting the game, that skill of theirs, that is unrivaled, and I really want to see how they develop their next game and how they can further hone their abilities to create compelling movesets. Sur Regalia is magnificent in every single way, and if the worst thing that I can say about it is that I wish that I got to play more of it, then that's how you know that you have a masterclass of game design on your hands. I want you to imagine this. You're playing an RPG and you got through the entire journey like normal, getting all your party members together, getting stronger, and eventually making your way to the final area of the game. After much preparation, you and your party step into the villain's domain and begin the final act of the journey. Only for one of your party members to die immediately. Suddenly, that party member, that side character to someone else's story, rewinds back to the day before the final battle, as he has to find a way to break the loop and save the world. That is the premise to In Stars and Time. From the moment I first heard the premise, the game had immediately caught my attention, but what I wasn't expecting was how well it was going to implement the time loop mechanic. The game is a full-fledged RPG with a fully developed rock, paper, scissors battle system. In each battle, each character and enemy has a bar that upon filling, allows them to act. Every character has a specific attribute, whether it is rock, paper, or scissors, and upon attacking with the same element 5 times, you do a special move. Battles are really dynamic as you're constantly going to be chaining attacks together, passing turns to other characters, and making strategies to succeed in battles. The battle system is simple compared to others with many different factors to consider, but that doesn't make this battle system any less entertaining. One of the things that I think the game handled the best was the system of memories. As you can probably guess, Sifrin, the main character of the game, is the only character eating shit for 20 hours, and so is the only character that truly retains any of his experience and powers. To prevent the game from being overly frustrating or stale with characters that never really grow as you constantly hop to different time periods, the game gives the player select memories that allow party members to remember certain moves, allowing you to strategize and customize the characters to a certain extent. You can choose to have the characters gain higher stats or gain turn bonuses, or instead have them gain late game moves to move faster through the early stages of the game. Now, I don't know about you, but repeating the same thing over and over again sounds like just about the right thing that I need to start bashing my head against the wall. But the game makes sure that you don't bash your head against the wall. At least immediately. The game handles the time travel mechanics really well and manages to implement them into the gameplay experience seamlessly. There are many parts in the earlier areas that are only accessible after certain points in the game, making every revisit feel worth it. Furthermore, there are many puzzles that will have you hopping from place to place, rewarding you with weapons, armor, and other goodies. They also did a really good job with the world building of the game. Despite the premise of the story being that you're almost done with all of this bullshit, the game builds its world and its characters naturally, all without the need of massive flashbacks. Everything that we learn about the world is because it comes up without it being forced. You get to understand the characters, their dynamics, who they are, where they come from, how they live their lives. All of that you learn with incredibly well-crafted dialogue that makes the party feel alive. The structure of the game makes the story work very well, and it also does an incredible job of building up mystery, as despite how far everyone in your party has gone, all the things that you learn are about as foreign as you as it is to them, which is something incredibly difficult to write appropriately. I mean, by this point in the story, most RPG parties will be omniscient gods with a dumb psychic. They'll have pretty much everything figured out, they will know each other inside and out, and they will understand their worlds to the fullest. That doesn't happen here though. The party learns a lot about each other and the world at the same rate as the player, and when they do know something, it's introduced like a normal conversation topic and shit instead of, I don't know, time stopping and the magic man explaining everything to the player. And believe me, they had everything they needed to do that. They made it a plot point that the main character is a dumbass fool that keeps forgetting shit. That's half the reason he dies in these loops. The story of the game is easily the best part though, although it is unfortunately the part that I can talk about the least. In Stars and Time features an incredible compelling story that constantly keeps the player in their toes and evolves way past what a player would expect from the premise. As the game goes on, your goal slowly changes and you can notice little details about about the world change as well as yourself, and the payoff for it is one of the best endings that I have seen in a while. Now this isn't a top 5 for anything, but I really think that this, Sur Regalia, and Neon White are the best games that I played for the video, and it is an experience that I would absolutely recommend to any RPG fan. And those are 5 of the best games that you've never played. Indie games to be exact. I'm still trying to find the perfect title for this type of video, something that is perfectly clickbaity. But for now, this will have to suffice. I'll say it as many times as I have to because god fucking damn it, these devs deserve a heavy ass check with the games that they make, but if anybody watching this video is a person tired of playing the same old stuff or is simply looking for new experiences and don't know where to start looking, then look into playing some indie games. The amount of indie games that you can play is staggering, and with how many are in my library, I'm gonna be fucking making videos like these for a hot minute. What other games do you want to see me talk about? And what other ways can my skill in video games be insulted because god knows that's happened a couple times already? Now comment it down below. God damn, that was a heavy ass voice crack. Well, that's all the time that I have had for today. I'm just a real stranger you met on the internet, but hey, just call me Pseudo.